What is going on, everybody? My name is James. Today I want to talk about why I don't think the Tesla Model 3's leasing option is really a good financial decision. And actually, before I get too far into the video, I want to just gauge interest. If you're actually considering leasing this Model 3, hit the like button or comment down below. I want to just see exactly what the demographic is for this. Are people actually interested in this as an option for getting a hold of the Model 3? Because I know it's been a pretty elusive car to get your hands on. So if this is something you're actually considering, again, those two options are there to let me know what you guys are thinking, and that way, I can see if this video is actually making sense, or if you guys completely disagree that leasing is going to revolutionize the way the Model 3 is moving. So again, just let me know, but without further ado, let's get into the video. I've been looking at the Model 3 ever since it came out, and I've been doing all the numbers on it, trying to figure out when I can afford it. And now that I saw that leasing is an option, I was very intrigued to see how much more affordable this car might have become. And while it is a fair price, I think that there's a lot of things you lose out on by choosing the lease that you would gain by going with either the cash or the loan option. Now, that might sound like a problem to go with something so long-term as a loan or cash, which obviously you have to have all that capital ready to put towards the car today. But let me tell you why those two options make a lot more sense than doing a lease on this car. So when you buy an electric car, and keyword there is buy, the federal government gives you a tax credit of $3,750 towards your taxes that effectively saves you money. So that, combined with normal state incentives between $1,000 to $5,000, you can save a lot of money on your taxes by buying an electric car. And so that's a reason why a lot of people have tried to get a hold of these vehicles. But if you lease, you never actually end up owning the vehicle. Tesla always has the title. You're just doing basically a long-term rental. And so you end up paying these tens of thousands of dollars over the course of the lease to just have the privilege of having kind of like a rental car. And at the end, you give the car back and have no additional capital to really show. The other fault that I think ends up happening, and this is kind of a weird one to describe, is that because leases have... Leases? Is that? Because a lease has a mileage limit on it, you're actually kind of capped as to how much you can save by going electric. So when you go to an electric car, you save a lot of money over paying gas. Usually it kind of equates to about a fourth difference. So whereas you paid $10 for gas before for a small trip, you're probably paying like $2.50 in electricity now. But if the lease is only 10,000 miles a year, that savings only goes so far. You can only save so much. If you do a loan, then you have the full reign to drive as many miles as you want and make that amount of savings that you're getting even larger by putting on more miles. It sounds counterintuitive, but it does make sense. And kind of a last important reason is that when you do something like the loan, and say, for example, you had an amount that you wanted to put down on the car, say it's $5,000. If you put that down on the lease, you would get a decent monthly payment. If you put that same amount down, plus the federal tax credit that you would get back anyways, so say $5,000 plus the $3,750, the monthly payment is almost exactly the same, but you now have a loan, you have a car that you own, you get all of these federal incentives and things. It's your car, you can do whatever you want with it, and you end up saving more in the long run. And when you're doing something like a loan, because your money is not all tied up in this one entity, your money can actually be working and making more money elsewhere. So for example, you put $8,000 down on the car and you pay it off per month, you still might have $20,000 in the bank that you can then go invest. You can make your money work for you elsewhere while also paying off your car. And then at the end of the loan, after those 6 years when the car is paid off and you fully own the car, you can sell it and recuperate a lot of the cost that you put into it, basically making the car kind of break even in a very weird long-term sense. But it's a lot better than paying so much money and then just giving the car back and not having anything to show for the thousands of dollars that you spent. And that's where I think the loan just makes the most sense. And if you by chance own a business, this gets so much better because there's so much more that you can write off, because not only can you write off miles like normal, you can write off the loan interest, so you never pay interest on your loan, and you can also write off things like the depreciation. So for example, the car might depreciate $8,000 in the first year, so you can write that off at a percentage for every year, and that will give you, again, a lot of tax credits. And actually there's a YouTuber by the name of Graham Stefan who did a video where he bought a Tesla for his real estate business and was able to write off so much that in the net cost for the first year, it came out to $78. Now again, that's not the amount that was taken from his account every month. It was about $650 taken from his account, but at the end of the year, he got so much back that it equated to about $78 that he was paying net out of pocket over the course of that year per month. So it's really crazy how cheap you can actually get these cars if you can swing some deals with those loans. But even if you don't have a business, there's still so much more that you get from doing that compared to just doing a lease. And I think that it makes the most sense to go that route. Again, it might be a little more expense up front, but I think the amount that you get in the long run and the value that you save just makes a lot more sense to myself personally. And I've tried to go over this in a bunch of different scenarios and things, and I always believe that the loan comes out on top. So that's my personal, view on this. If you guys have any other views or, critiques or anything, leave them down below because I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. Do you guys agree, disagree? Just let me know. If this video was helpful for you guys, if you guys found this interesting, hit that like button to let me know, and I'll do more videos like this. And again, if you want to see future videos similar to this or about like my electric car project, don't forget to subscribe so you can see those future videos. That's going to be it for me today. I really hope you guys learned something. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.